Thank you for tuning in to Nevada Justice. We are Parker Shear Lagomarsino. Born and raised in Las Vegas and with over 15 years of legal experience, attorney Drey Lagomarsino has served as counsel in a wide variety of cases. Along with attorneys Daniel M. Ryan and Elizabeth Crommelin, they make up the law firm of Parker Shear Lagomarsino. The information you obtain from the show is not, nor is it intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney for advice regarding your individual situation. We invite you to contact us at 702-731-1230 and welcome your calls. Contacting us does not create an attorney-client relationship. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nevada Justice. Now, today's show is a little different. We have a lot of new voices here today. Drey and Max couldn't make it, but we do have Brian Trawick.
Hello, everyone. I'm not as good as Drey and Max, but I'll try.
You'll do good, don't worry. Brian does local short films here, cinematography, graphic design. We do a lot of films together, so...
Yep.
And then we also have Anne-Marie Pereth here today. She's going to be our special guest. She should be here shortly. She's going to talk a little bit about her theater company here in town called The Public Fit. And that kind of segues into our topic for today, which is law, camera, action. Basically, we are going to talk about the legal field's appearance in movies, television, and theater. We even have some fun musical clips for our listeners today as well. So, Brian, I know you've seen tons of TV shows where law is the main subject matter. But
I'm going to have to say my favorite lawyer is Saul.
Saul.
Yeah.
Well, when you can't pick Andre, of course.
Oh, yeah,
right.
That's right.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and dive into law's appearance in the movies. And we have a few movies to talk about today. The first one is one that I'm sure everyone's aware of, is Liar, Liar. Now, let's start with something light. A comedy known as Liar, Liar, which came out in 1997. Liar, Liar is about an attorney named Fletcher, played by Jim Carrey. Fletcher is an expert at lying, which has made him a noteworthy and successful defense lawyer, but an awful father. His son makes a wish that Fletcher can't tell a lie for a whole day. Well, you can imagine what kind of havoc this causes his legal career. Fletcher is on the brink of a huge case in which he has planned to lie his way to a winning verdict. However, Fletcher soon realizes that telling the truth has its benefits, and by the end of the film, he has won his case with honesty and learns a lesson or two about being a good attorney and father. Here is a clip from the end of the movie.
My client lied about her age. She was only 17 when she got married, which makes her a minor. And in the great...
5.
Now let me...
Finished it so I could get married.
And the truth shall set you free. My client lied about her age. She was only 17 when she got married, which makes her a minor. And in the great state of California, no minor can enter into any legal contract without parental consent, including...
Prenuptial agreement.
Prenuptial agreements! This contract is void. The fact that my client has been ridden more than Seattle slew is irrelevant. Standard community property applies, and she is entitled to half of the marital assets, or $11.395 million. Jordan fades back, swoosh, and that's the game! Nothing further, Your Honor.
You've seen that movie, right, Brian?
Yeah, plenty of times. I think we all have. When he does the claw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
I like Jim Carrey. He's good. Now, I don't think most attorneys are that silly and animated, but we'll have to ask Drey if that's what it's like to give a
fun courthouse
closing argument. Yeah. Now, let's move on to the next one, which is a classic. Now, far from a comedy is the movie 12 Angry Men. This 1957 classic film focuses not on the lawyer, but the jury. It tells the story of 12 men who have to deliberate the guilt or acquittal of a defendant on the basis of reasonable doubt. The entire film takes place in the jury room, and the tension comes across the screen. The 12 men must decide whether an 18-year-old boy killed his father by stabbing him to death. The jurors are comprised of different personalities, each with their own agenda. After some arguments and tears, the vote is ultimately unanimous, and the boy is found not guilty. The 12 angry men then return to their regular lives. Here's a clip from the movie.
What
What's going on here? Well, I'm trying to tell you, you're making a big mistake, you people. This kid is a liar. I know it. I know all about them. Listen to me. They're no good. There's not a one of them who's any good. I mean, what's happening in here? I'm speaking my piece, and you... Listen to me. We're this kid on trial here. He's type. Well, don't you know about them? There's a danger here. These people are dangerous. They're wild. Listen to me. Listen.
I have. Now sit down and don't open your mouth again.
Now, definitely a tense scene from that movie. While we were listening to the clip, Anne-Marie Pereth got here. Hello, Anne-Marie.
Hi, Rebecca.
See you?
We were just talking about 12 Angry Men. Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I have, actually.
Oh, I love that movie.
I
It's
think
a
we all
classic.
seen that one.
In
Yes.
school,
A lot,
at least.
It's an iconic film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Do you know who directed that?
Do you know? I don't.
Oh, no. Is this a test?
Quiz.
Yeah, it's quiz time.
Oh, no, I don't know who directed it. Who directed it?
Sidney Lumet, I believe.
Oh,
He also
Sidney Lumet?
Lumet. Yeah, he
Yes.
also directed Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think he did a version of Long Day's Journey into Night, too.
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
So good. One of my favorites. Now that we have Anne-Marie here, I'm going to go ahead and introduce her a little bit to all our listeners. Now, Anne-Marie is the founder and artistic director of a public fit theater company. Anne-Marie is a Las Vegas-based director, choreographer, and teacher. With her passion for performing, Anne-Marie has been involved with theater and dance since she was 10 years old. Anne-Marie received her MFA in directing from UNLV and is currently working as a theater professor for the College of Southern Nevada. She has acted, danced, directed, and choreographed with many renowned theater training programs and community organizations throughout the country. I even had the pleasure of working with Anne-Marie on The Diary of Anne Frank, where she directed me, and I can personally say she's a great director. Welcome to the show, Anne-Marie.
Thank you for that wonderful recommendation.
Of course. Can you tell us a little bit about how you began your career in theater?
Yes, I was 10 years old and I saw a poster for the Rainbow Company Children's Theater. And I had a dear friend and we said, oh, that looks like something that we would like to do. So I went down and I auditioned for Winnie the Pooh. And was not cast, actually. But I didn't give up, and then I went and auditioned for their ensemble and was selected. And so I started my theatrical training at the age of 10 with the Rainbow Company Children's Theater.
Wow.
Or now it's known as the Rainbow Company Youth Theater.
And like I said, I know you also teach. Can you tell us a little bit what it's like to teach theater?
Well, it really depends on who your students are. I've taught students as young as 4 to 6-year-olds, and currently now I'm teaching college students. And when you're starting off teaching a little one, you're just trying to get them to engage in their imagination, which is really easy because young children are very imaginative, and just getting enough courage to be able to do that in a group setting. Whereas with college kids, you're trying to teach them the techniques of acting. And there are a lot of different ideas out there what the proper techniques of acting. Sometimes some actors work from the outside in or work from the inside out. And I just try and implement both styles of teaching because one tool might work for one student where another tool might work for another. But I start off with some Stanislavski-based ideas, and then I go from there.
Which do you prefer, teaching the younger kids or the older kids?
It's all different. As long as they're interested and energetic and they're really committed to the activity, I enjoy both. Currently now, because I'm teaching college students, you can talk about bigger concepts in class and you can get a more defined product out of them. So there is a satisfaction in seeing a more refined product from the college kids. And I also like to use some of the college kids or college students in my readings for a public fit. And so it's a nice area to develop new talent.
Now, you talk about public fit. Can you tell our listeners what is a public fit?
Public Fit is a theater company that I founded and started about a year and a half ago. And I'm very proud to say that it's a professional theater company. One of our mandates, our missions, is that we pay all of the artists involved, including the actors. And so we just successfully produced our first production, Foxfinder, and I was able to raise enough money to pay all of the designers involved, the production staff, and the actors, not an exorbitant amount, but a decent amount to make it worthy of their time. And so I like to just go from there. One day I'd like to be able to create a professional theater company in this town that provides actors, designers, and production staff with a living wage so that they can do that on a full-time basis.
Now, with Foxfinder, can you tell us a little bit about that process?
The process of finding the play, or the process of directing the play, or
Putting it together, getting it funded, even what you experienced when you directed it.
Well, my theater company actually started off doing readings. I knew that I couldn't just go from 0 to 100 when starting a theater company, so I decided to get a group of my trusted theatrical friends together, and we started reading plays, difficult plays that were hard to understand off the page. And so a group of us, about a group of 8 to 10 of us, we got together and we read a particularly difficult play, and we had a discussion afterwards, and it was so exciting and invigorating that we decided to do it on a monthly basis. And then within that reading arena, I discovered the play Foxfinder. A friend of mine, a professional actor from Seattle, suggested it to me. And when we had the reading, it created such a interesting discussion, and there was a lot of hot debate about the protagonist and the antagonist, and was the antagonist manipulating, or was he actually believing this newfound information that he had received from the Foxfinder? So I found the play very compelling in that way, and there was a lot of mystery in the play, which is interesting for a director to kind of craft in a delicate way. So that was the way I had discovered the play. So once we had discovered the play, then we decided we were receiving a lot of information from our friends, our professional theatrical friends, that in order to be a viable theater company, you just got to get up and do a play and produce a play, which was really scary because in order to produce a play, you need money.
Right.
So,
and I know you worked really hard with the fundraising aspect.
Yes. Well, we received a lot of private donations, which I'm very, very grateful for, and I wish I could publicly thank everybody on the radio for that. And then we created an Indiegogo campaign, which talked a lot about 4 of the artists involved in the production staff. And we talked about our mission and what we were trying to accomplish about paying actors and adding to the professional collective of professional theater in town. And we put that Indiegogo campaign out on into the internet, into the World Wide Web, into the onto
the great unknown,
onto Facebook. And what ended up happening was a lot of the people that I had worked with over the last 20 years rose to the surface and were really eager and ready to donate to our theatrical cause. And so I was able to raise all the funds in order to produce the show.
And how did the show turn out?
The show was great. It just closed Sunday, and I'm a little sad because it's like the end of this big epic process that I had put into motion. So I'm having the after show blues a little.
On to the next one.
Yes, on to the next one. But I was able to one of the things that we wanted to accomplish when working with actors in this town. There are a lot of actors who have been brought into the Las Vegas Valley who work on the strip in these big, huge production shows. Right. And they work in Blue Man or a Cirque show or one of these various production shows. But in order to survive, they have to keep up. They have to work nights, and they're not able to be in many of the theatrical ventures in town. So I wanted to tap into that talent source. So we found two particular actors who were working on the strip, and we rehearsed during the days so that they didn't have to take much work off at night, and so they were able to do the production. And one of the actors, his name was Chris Brown. He has a lot of training. He worked in Chicago and New York and D.C., and he's worked with Steppenwolf, and he has some very
good credentials.
Yes, remarkable credentials, and so we were able to acquire him for the process. And so that was a real find for Fox Finder, and he played the protagonist, and he was so compelling, and a really smart guy. He was really able to add to the energy, the good energy, into the space, so that we were able to put on a really great show.
That's fantastic. Now, I know that you've done it all, directing, acting, dancing. What aspect of performing do you find the most challenging?
The most challenging? I would actually say that being an actor is more challenging than being a director. Actors really have to get up there and be fearless and put it on the line, and it's exposing, and you feel vulnerable and scared, on top of all of the things that you have to do. The cliche things, you have to memorize your lines, and you have to create a character, and
know where to stand.
Yes, know where to stand. Follow, implement the director's vision. But it's just very scary to be an actor, and I've been in those shoes, and I found that out of my compassion for actors, because it was so difficult for me, that I wanted to be able to help them get to the finish line in a really constructive and nurturing and safe environment. So I actually think acting is more difficult than directing. I feel that as a performer myself, my talent lies in directing more than acting, and so I've given up my acting chops and I've decided to be on the other side.
You're retired.
And I leave the acting to the actors, and I've taken on this other hat, and people like to do what they feel that they're most successful at, and I feel that I am more successful as a director. That's really where my talent lies versus acting.
And it's so true what you say about having a nurturing, safe place as an actor to try things and do things. I feel like you get so much more out of actors, and you go so much farther when they feel like they're not going to be criticized or yelled at or demeaned or anything when they're trying to play.
Exactly.
And try things
yeah.
out.
They really have to explore, because there's a lot of, depending on the time period that you're producing the play and the people in the room, the worldview of the play changes, right? Always. So we have to collect these people and bring their life stream, their life experiences to the table, and we have to honor that. We can't negate that. So I try really hard as a director to do that.
Now, on the other end, what aspect of performing do you enjoy the most? Would it be directing or?
Well, it's all performing. I mean, even being a teacher, you have to get up there and perform, because you have to inspire students, right? You don't want to be one of those dull teachers where nobody wants to come to class, right? So teaching is performing. Every week I do a dance class, and I have to get up there and dance and kick and shake and wiggle, and that's performing, and then that's a different sense of letting go. But if I had my druthers, if the universe were to say, if you could choose anything, I would pick directing still, because it is so hard and you have to bring all of these creative forces together, and you have to make it work, and it's a different story every time
every night
and every time you tackle a new script, and it just never gets boring. I'm never bored, and I hate to be bored.
Well, and I don't think people realize that you're not just directing the actors, but you're trying to get the set together. You're focusing on lights as well. It's the whole thing. You're taking on way more than just telling people where to stand and what to say.
Oh, yes. It's coming up with a concept and being able to communicate that concept, and then working with different personalities. A lot of directing is actually people management, and getting everybody to get on the same page, and getting everybody to understand the vision, and also accepting their input to the vision. In another life, I think I would, if I had to do it over again, I think I might be a designer, because it's so creative, and you bring all these images to the table, and then you have to deal with texture and tone and color and light, and it's a very creative part of the process. So even though I'm not a designer, I feel like I can live vicariously through my designers. So yes, it's about managing that part of the process, and then once we're through with that part of the process, sharing that with the actors, and then bringing all of those elements to the finish line to create a successful story.
Well, what I've always been curious about is, I know that as a director, I mean, whether it be theater, I know, Brian, you direct films, you get so much input from everyone else that's involved in the project. Is it difficult to take that and try to make it work with what you want? Is it hard to not just ignore it? Like, how do you bounce that off? And I know it's different from film and theater, but is that difficult?
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're really open. Like, some directors are very innovative, and they have a single-minded idea, and they're really trying to utilize all of these people to create their one vision.
Put their stamp on it.
Right. My mentor, Davy Marlon Jones, taught me always to be open. And he's like, you're not the only genius in the room. Right? There are other really intelligent people in the room, and they could teach you something about the play. But once you've received all of that input, it's your job as the director to start editing. Because if you receive too much input, some input negates other people's input, and then the whole thing turns to a big pile of mush.
It gets a little messy.
Yeah, and so eventually it's the job of the director to come in and edit and sharpen and refine the story based on all of the people's ideas.
Now, I know that you also have a Zumba career.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, actually, I have currently given up my Zumba shoes, and I have elevated my Zumba shoes to either what's called dance jam or cardio dance party. And I teach cardio dance at the stage, and I teach dance jam at Lifetime Fitness. And basically what it is, it's a much more technical version of Zumba. The steps are a little bit more challenging, and it requires more creative thought in the choreography process.
Is that to zone in on like particular muscles, or is it just like dance technique? Or I guess they're one and the same.
In Zumba or cardio dance or dance jam, you're working your heart, okay? And you're either working at the aerobic level or the anaerobic level. And most of the class, you're working at the aerobic level, and you might dip into the anaerobic level, twice during the class. So it's really you're working your fitness level. The purpose of changing the format was I wanted to make it my own. Zumba is a branded format, and it's international, and I'm kind of bound by their laws or rules and regulations, and I was attracted to some different styles of music, and so I wanted to explore those different styles of music, and so that's how it changed into something else. And I am also not bound by Zumba's choreography. I can create my own choreography, and since I am a dancer, that's what I did.
Spoken like a true artist, not creative enough for you, so you had to switch.
Yeah, I had to make it my own. No one's going to tell me what to do.
Now, what is the next project you have planned for a public fit?
Part of having a theater company is gathering a board, and we have gathered a really nice board, but we need some more board members because one of the primary functions of the board is fundraising. And a lot of the fundraising, they took on some of that responsibility, but because it was a new company, a lot of the fundraising fell to me. And it's really hard to be an artistic director and be fundraising,
Doing it all.
and collecting artistic staff and a production staff and a design staff. So I need, the next thing is to bring more people on board. And I have a wonderful crew of people who I love, Brian being one of them.
Graphic designer extraordinaire over here.
I don't know if you saw the program, but you're listed. A lot of people who have taken a step forward to help to make this this company, this dream, this vision, this idea work. But now I really need to get more board members involved to help with fundraising so that we can kind of take it to the next level so that we can start paying more people.
How do you find time to balance all this teaching, a public fit, Zoom, or your cardio dance? How do you juggle it all?
A lot of coffee. During the last 6 months, my days have been 18 to 20-hour days, not sleeping very much. And so once the show opened, I was saying to my partner, Joe, I was like, wow, I'm just sleeping so much. I'm exhausted. I finally allowed my body to relax during the run of the show. I was just exhausted. So that's how I did it.
Okay.
It's
Sleepless nights and determination.
yes, and a lot of passion. I really believe in what I'm doing, and it is shown up in this last project that we did. People felt the passion and the commitment to this idea, and there are more people on board. All of the actors involved are like, when's the next project? Can we extend this run? We're in love with this play. We're in love with each other. We love this.
Keep it going.
Yeah, they just wanted to, do Foxfinder for the next 5 weeks, like in a regional sending. Can you take it
Every year, Foxfinder.
Yes. So the passion has been contagious, and I just have to keep that momentum going.
Now, where can people go to find out more about a public fit?
We have a website that we're constructing. I think it's a publicfit.org. And then we also have a Facebook page, a public fit. And then if you would like to be on our mailing list, you can send me your email. And I personally send out emails to everybody who is in our emailing list, monthly or bi-monthly, to talk about our readings, because we do have monthly readings.
Wonderful. Now, my last question. I know this one might be a hard one to answer, but if you weren't in theater, in any aspect of it, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, I love psychology.
Oh, okay.
I originally, when I was getting my undergraduate degree, I was a psychology major. And I think psychology and theater are very closely linked.
I think so too.
So I love psychology, and I also love art. I might be one of like a museum curator. I love.
Can you draw or paint?
I have talent, but I just have never explored it as much as I'd like. As a child, people were trying to push me in that direction, but I was more interested in dancing and being in a play, so I didn't really explore.
It served you well.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Please go check out A Public Fit. Go on their Facebook, sign up for their newsletter. Thank you so much for coming. If you want to stick around, we're going to talk more about some movies where the subject is law, fittingly. But we're going to go to a commercial break, and when you come back, there'll be more Nevada Justice. Here in the Las Vegas Valley, Parker Shear Lagomarsino is dedicated to giving each of our law firm's clients the individual attention they each deserve. Parker Shear Lagomarsino handles a wide variety of cases for individuals and businesses. The firm prides itself on providing ethical representation and strong advocacy in and out of court. Our team of experienced lawyers and paralegals work hard daily to ensure the firm's clients get the best possible results. Clients can reach the firm at 702-383-2864, 702-383-2864, or at radio at parkershear, PARKERSCHEER.com.
Hi, this is attorney Andre Lagomarsino, partner at Parker Shear Lagomarsino Law Offices. Nevada has a rich legal history dating back to our inception as a battle-born state during the Civil War. Please tune in to our radio show, Nevada Justice, Fridays at 4 o'clock p.m., where we will discuss this history, both past, present, and future. Our goal is to inform the Las Vegas community of their legal rights and to hear any questions or concerns from the public. So please tune in to Nevada Justice, Fridays at 4 o'clock p.m.
Welcome back, everyone, to Nevada Justice. Hello, Brian.
Hello. I'm still here.
You're still here. A big thank you again to Anne-Marie Pereth and A Public Fit. If you'd like to get in contact with us off the air, you can reach our firm, Parker Shear Lagomarsino, at 702-383-2864 or via email at radio@parkershear.com. Now, I know we touched on it a little bit when Anne-Marie was here. Brian actually did a lot of the graphic design posters on A Public Fit. Brian, what do you prefer more? Do you like the graphic design work that you do, or do you prefer the directing? I know you recently won an award for cinematography. What do you prefer?
I would say directing and cinematography. Graphic design is my backup plan, because there's not really that much money in film, not yet at least. So I figure graphic design is my backup.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and jump back into law in the movies. We left off on 12 Angry Men, but we're going to go ahead and go into the next movie that we have here, which is also a classic, To Kill a Mockingbird. Now, the novel is renowned for its warmth, humor, despite the serious issues of rape and racial inequality. The narrator's father, Atticus Finch, has served as a moral hero for many readers and as a role model of integrity for lawyers. One critic explains the novel impact by writing, in the 20th century, To Kill a Mockingbird is probably the most widely read book dealing with race in America, and its protagonist, Atticus Finch, the most enduring fictional image of racial heroism. To Kill a Mockingbird involves racial injustice and the destruction of innocence. Scholars have noted that Lee also addresses issues of class, courage, compassion, and gender roles in the American Deep South. Here's a clip from Finch's speech.
Now, gentlemen, in this country, our courts are the great levelers. In our courts, all men are created equal. I'm no idealist to believe firmly in the integrity of our courts and of our jury system. That's no ideal to me. That is a living, working reality.
One of my favorite things about movies that, attorneys are the subject matter are the speeches.
Yeah.
I feel like they're so moving. They say just the right things. I mean, it really is an art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen this movie?
I have a long
right?
time ago.
Yeah, I feel like they played it like every school.
All Liar Liar, 12 Angry Men, and To Kill a Mockingbird was pretty popular, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, switching gears a little bit, coming from a theatrical background, I wanted to kind of touch on Law's appearance on stage. Now, when you say musical and Law, I think this musical comes to mind for most people. Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde is the Broadway musical tale of a sorority girl turned attorney. Elle Woods is known for being preoccupied with shopping, socializing, and the color pink. Elle decides to enter into Harvard Law in order to win back her ex-boyfriend. However, she soon realizes that she has what it takes to be an attorney and proves it to the world when she is responsible for winning a high-profile case, all while singing and dancing, of course. Originally a movie, it was adapted for the stage in 2007. Here's a song from Legally Blonde about what it might sound like if a class at Harvard Law broke into a musical number.
Hello, I'm Emmett Forrest. Welcome to the hallowed halls of Harvard Law. Let's go around and share a bit about yourselves.
Aaron Schultz. I won a Fulbright and a Rhodes. I write financial software codes, but that's a challenge I've outgrown. How many yachts can one man own? Some say that I'm a pompous creep. Somehow I don't lose that much sleep. Why bother with false modesty? Harvard's the perfect place for me. Pretty impressive, good to know.
Welcome to Harvard.
What's up?
Yo! Sandeep Agrawal Paramadan, but you may call me Your Majesty.
In my country, my word was law, but then I flee because of stupid coup d'etat. But here I learn, I make new friends, and soon return in bulletproof Mercedes-Benz. Pretty impressive, good to know.
Welcome to
Eat it! Hoops! I did the Peace Corps overseas, inoculating refugees in family clinics that I built myself from mud and trees. I fought to clean up their lagoons and save their rare endangered loons and led a protest march against insensitive cartoons.
Pretty impressive, good.
But now I'm on the legal track because this country's out of whack and only women have the guts to go and take it back. We'll make the government come clean and get more people voting green and really stick it to the phallocentric war machine.
I love your top. It is so fatigue chic. Anyone know where I can find Criminal Law 101 with Professor Callahan and Warner Huntington III?
It's in Hauser. Over there, second building on the left.
Thanks.
I won a Fulbright and a Rhodes. I write financial software codes. My word was law. Harvard's the perfect place for
Warner! Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through!
Harvard's the perfect place for me. Pretty impressive, good to know. Welcome to Harvard.
Oh my God, Warner! I totally forgot you go here.
Drey is going to kill me for playing that whole song.
Yeah.
Sorry, Drey, in advance.
So, Rebecca, I got a question for you.
Oh, God, yeah?
So, coming from an acting background, if you were to play a lawyer, how would you prepare for that?
I would probably ask Drey for an interview. I think being a paralegal now would help me a lot in that regard. But I think when I take on any role, I try to find as much as possible in the text, in the story, and I just work off of that. At UNLV, we were trained, Michael Lugreen did a voice and movement. So he basically, his whole thing is that you act and you rehearse in integration with your body. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly enough, when you start from that perspective, it kind of all falls into place. But yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah.
No, there's another play that I love that I saw at UNLV once called Inherit the Wind. Now, I still remember how much I enjoyed this play. Inherit the Wind is a fictionalized account of the 1925 Scopes monkey trial, which resulted in John T. Scopes' conviction for teaching Darwin's theory of evolution to a high school science class, contrary to a Tennessee state law. The playwrights state in a note that in the opening of the play that it is not meant to be a historical account. And there are numerous instances where events were substantially altered or invented. For instance, the characters of the preacher and his daughter were fictional, the townspeople weren't hostile towards those who had come to Dayton for the trial, and Brian offered to pay Scopes his fine if he was convicted. Brian did die shortly after the trial, but it happened 5 days later in his sleep. Political commentator Steve Bennon said of the play's inaccuracies, Scopes issued no plea for empathy. There was no fiancé, and the real Scopes was never arrested. Lawrence explained in a 1996 interview that the drama's purpose was to criticize the then current state of McCarthyism. The play was also intended to defend intellectual freedom. Have you ever seen that play?
I have not.
No, it's really good. I would recommend at least everyone out there reading it. It's not as fun as Legally Blonde, but you know. Now, let's talk a little bit about Law's appearance in television, which is numerous.
Yeah.
There are tons of television shows dealing with the legal profession. Law and Order is probably the most well-known. Law and Order is an American police procedural and legal drama television series, which ran for 20 seasons. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That's crazy. Law and Order was the longest-running crime drama on American primetime television. The first half of the show focuses on the investigation of the crime, usually involving murder, while the last half of the show focuses on the prosecution of the defendant by the DA's office. Have you seen Law and Order?
I have. At first, I was like, nah, Law and Order, no. But I'm telling you, you watch one episode.
You're hooked.
Yeah, you're hooked. You're like, oh, wow.
You know, I've never seen a full episode of Law and Order.
You're going to watch the whole 20 seasons.
Oh, God. Yeah, that would take me forever. There's another show. Bad Judge is a television show about, well, a bad judge. It's since been canceled, but it followed the personal life and the wild lifestyle of Rebecca Wright, a tough-as-nails judge serving on the Los Angeles County Circuit Court, whose time off the bench is spent partying and displaying reckless behavior. Her reputation is tamed and judged by Robbie Shoemaker, an 8-year-old boy whose parents Rebecca put behind bars. He proves to be the one that can turn Rebecca's life around. I never saw this show, but Denise from our office enjoyed it, so I figured it deserved at least a mention.
So we got a Rebecca and a Brian in here.
I know. But I'm not a bad judge, I promise.
And I didn't die.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah.
Now, one of our favorite shows is Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Breaking Bad isn't exactly about an attorney, but it has a great attorney character named Saul Goodman in it. And we're actually later in the show going to quiz Brian on his Saul Goodman knowledge. Let's see if you can do better than how Max usually does on his quizzes.
Oh, geez.
You have to live up to his name. Now, before we get to that quiz, Brian and I are a part of the short film community here in Las Vegas, and we've come across some great people while making our short films. We make short films under the name Lasange Multimedia, and we wanted to take this time to shout out some honorable mentions to people in the community. Now, our first honorable mention is John Aliano. John Aliano is a cinematographer, director, teacher, and the most supportive teacher at that. John always builds up his students and teaches them what it really means to work in film. He's given us, me and Brian and I, so much support over the years, and anyone at CSN will tell you that he's one of the best.
Yeah.
You agree, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think John plays a huge part in getting together the annual film festival at CSN, and we've both taken class with John. What classes did you take with him?
Oh, a lot.
Cinematography,
video, and film.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that I guess he really inspired me to get into film.
And he's so nice.
Yeah, I was actually going for acting, and I was like, oh, I want to learn the other side of the camera, and then I was like, nope, no more acting.
He steered you in the right
Yeah.
direction. Now, another honorable mention is Robert Benedetto. He's also a teacher at CSN who teaches a variety of subjects, one being screenwriting. He's also a great director. He's always been a huge supporter of our films, and we wanted to give him an honorable mention.
Yep.
Definitely Bob Benedetto. He's also another key figure over at CSN and the film program. I mean, John and Bob really do make such a difference there.
And Bob has been in there for a while with film.
Mm-hmm. I remember I took, I think it was a directing styles class.
Yeah, he has
with him.
directing styles, and then movies and media.
Mm-hmm. Screenwriting, of course.
Screenwriting.
And
yeah.
he made the class very interesting. So thank you to John and Benedetto. Now another and our last honorable mention is David Hardy, who actually owns Arts Vegas and teaches graphic design at CSN. Now, Brian, can you explain a little bit what Arts Vegas is? It's I know they do a lot of things like online.
In the community.
Yeah, in the community, art-based. He's primarily graphic design, right?
And I believe it's web design.
Web design, too. And I know he does these things called field trips.
Yeah.
That we were lucky enough to film one for him, where they pretty much take you on a tour of Las Vegas. Each field trip is on a different category and subject matter, but definitely go on one of those if you haven't yet.
Yeah, and check out his website. It's artsvegas.com.
Mm-hmm. So check that out. Now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to quiz Brian.
Oh, jeez.
Here in the Las Vegas Valley, Parker Shear Lagomarsino is dedicated to giving each of our law firm's clients the individual attention they each deserve. Parker Shear Lagomarsino handles a wide variety of cases for individuals and businesses. The firm prides itself on providing ethical representation and strong advocacy in and out of court. Our team of experienced lawyers and paralegals work hard daily to ensure the firm's clients get the best possible results. Clients can reach the firm at 702-383-2864, 702-383-2864, or at radio@parkershear, PARKERSCHEER.com.
Hi, this is attorney Andre Lagomarsino, partner at Parker Shear Lagomarsino Law Offices. Nevada has a rich legal history dating back to our inception as a battle-born state during the Civil War. Please tune in to our radio show, Nevada Justice, Fridays at 4 o'clock p.m., where we will discuss this history, both past, present, and future. Our goal is to inform the Las Vegas community of their legal rights and to hear any questions or concerns from the public. So please tune in to Nevada Justice, Fridays at 4 o'clock p.m.
Hello and welcome back to Nevada Justice. Now, before we get started, if you want to get in contact with us off the air, you can reach our firm at Parker Shear Lagomarsino, 702-383-2864, or via email at radio@parkershear.com. We also have a website, lasvegas.parkershear.com, which also has a link to all our social media sites. We're pretty cool. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, you guys are pretty hip.
Yeah, we're pretty hip. We try to be anyways. Now, let's go ahead and give Brian a little quiz. We're going to quiz him on some Breaking Bad trivia, the Saul Goodman edition. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
All right. First question. What is Saul Goodman's real last name?
Let's see. Is it McGill?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Good job. How'd you know that?
I watch a lot of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I can't even remember if it must have stated his real name during an episode, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, all right. He's Saul Goodman to me, but okay, McGill. Yeah. Number 2. What is Saul Goodman's famous catchphrase?
It's Better Call Saul, I think. Saul?
Yes, it is. I think he says it at least 20 times in every episode, so I don't know if you know that one. Number 3, what make of car does Saul Goodman drive? Now, I know you are a car guy, so I know you must have paid attention to this. I'm gonna give you some choices here, though, okay? Is it A, a Cadillac, B, a BMW, or C, a Lexus?
I'm going to have to go with A, Cadillac.
Yep, you are correct again. I figured you'd get that one right. Yeah. Number 4, what does Saul have wallpapered in his office? I'm going to give you 2 options here. Is it pictures of the Statue of Liberty, or is it the U.S. Constitution?
Behind his desk?
Yeah, that whole big wall that he
That's
has.
the Constitution.
It is the Constitution. Now, are you cheating? Are you looking at all these answers? Max is going to be very upset that he missed the easy quiz.
It's just on my iPhone.
Put the phone away, Brian. Okay, last question. Let's see if you can get a perfect 5 for 5. And I'm going to give you a few options on this one.
I think I'm going to get it.
We'll see. What is the name of Saul Goodman's bodyguard? Now, is it A, Tiny, B, Lowell, or is it C, Huel?
His bodyguard?
Mm-hmm.
Huel?
Oh, you got it!
Because he actually had... Well, I guess the other guy's not the bodyguard. The redhead guy.
Good job, Brian. Good job.
Do I win?
I don't have any prizes, but you can have bragging rights against Max.
Okay.
I don't know if he's gotten a perfect score before.
Yeah, but you guys usually quiz him on law stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd fail too.
Yeah, you got it a little easy this time. Well, it wasn't really fair, but now, Brian, do you have anything coming up in the works? I know you're working on a documentary. What is that about?
Oh, it's about tattoos and a little bit about the history of it. And
what is it? What's the title? Screwed, Glued, and Tattooed? Screwed, Blued, and Tattooed?
Yeah, Screwed, Blued, and Tattooed.
Now, I know that you also interviewed Drey for that documentary.
I did.
So I'm pretty excited to see his performance in it.
Yeah. I'll make him look good.
Yeah, there you go. I'll color correct it for you. Now, I want to end the show by just saying thank you again. I want to say thank you to Anne-Marie Pereth for coming in and talking about A Public Fit. Our honorable mentions, thank you again to Robert Benedetto, John Aliano, David Hardy. Thank you to Brandon Feicher, who always lets us use Tumbleweed Town as our theme song. You can purchase the song on iTunes. Thank you to Joyce Vetter, singer-songwriter for Home Means Nevada. We couldn't do the show without that wonderful closing song. And I want to thank everyone at KLAV and Parkershire Lagomarsino. And, of course, thank you to today's co-host, Brian Trawick.
I wasn't as good as Drey, but I tried.
Those are some tough shoes to fill.
Yeah, it is.
And thank you to all our wonderful listeners. You can reach us at 702-383-2864 or at radio@parkershare.com.
Way out in the land of the setting sun, where the wind blows wild and free, there's a lovely spot, just the only one that means home sweet home to me. If you follow the old Kit Carson Trail until desert meets the hills, oh, you certainly will agree with me. It's a place of 1,000 thrills. Home means Nevada, home means the hills, home means the sage and the pine.